Oh, hello, and welcome back. Here we are again playing a Caro-Kann because it's the only opening I know. And thank you so much for clicking on this video. And it is the day after Thanksgiving. So if you were able to enjoy Thanksgiving, well, then I'm happy. That's basically, I said that in a poor way, but I think that I just bring the bishop out and we go for this trade. But I haven't played chess in a little while. I played one game before this and I forgot to film it. That's what happens when you're an amateur at this stuff. I think we're just going to double up. Okay. If the check comes, all right, so we're going to castle. We got opposite side castling going on. I think we're just going to pin that. If we see this chase away technique, I'm okay because then at least my bishop is attacking yours and yours is not attacking mine yet. But this is about to be an epic game. So you get a pawn advance, you know. The pawns get advanced. We might see this knight come over, but this little pawn cube is actually quite favorable in many positions. This exact position, I don't know. But instead of trading this off and allowing the queen to come in, I'll just let him take and make a pawn cube. Unfortunately, it looks like his attack is going to be way faster than mine. I can scoot in. No, I can't. That doesn't work at all. So this rook belongs on this open file. I know that. So let's just put it there. If we see this, we trade towards the center. Always trade towards the center. Okay, he wants to force me to trade. So in that case, it's not the end of the world if I have to do that. I think I'm just going to slowly get more pieces involved. And if we do see this, I will trade because there's nothing else I can do. And unfortunately, I am getting attacked. And so I'm going to have to do something about that. This comes with check, and then I can grab this pawn, but then that basically just brings a rook to the party. I'm not sure I love that idea. But he's going to use this pawn to just blow open my entire game, my entire king side. So I'm going to hit him with the check. He scoots over. Grab the pawn. Rook comes over. Queen slides to the middle. That's what we're going for. Queen slides to the middle. The knight can't move forward. I got a pawn out of that. So it looked like he was trying to be really aggressive and made a mistake. So that hangs on to the pawn. I can really force the queen trade. Because if you don't, I'm going to do that. Cuts off the connection between his queen and his knight. So basically, the only thing he can do is sacrifice. Okay. Okay. I think if I take and we see this check, I come back. Just blindly, I'm going to accept that. There was really not a lot else I could do. Scooting back to the corner seems scary. There's not a follow-up check. His knight is also hanging. And I'll be able to bring this rook over to this file, which I quite like. If I can just switch my rooks, I'd be happy with that. And I'm up a rook. So, like, this pawn push, yes, but then I just defend it. And that checkmate is no longer a thing. So probably we'll see the pawn push to threaten the checkmate. I'll defend it. We'll see some stuff, but I might even scoot my... If you can attack a queen on an open file, do it. Okay, he's sliding all over the place, trying to get crazy. What on earth? His king is so safe, so there's really not a whole lot that I can do about that. I can just take another pawn. He's attacking my knight, actually, so it would be nice to defend that. I might just take the pawn, and if he takes my knight, then I take his knight. Should I defend it first? Or should I just not even defend it and go with this plan? What on earth should I do? I'm up a rook, for Christ's sake. He's attacking it, so I want to move it. I think we're just going to scoot on over. Okay. I can then bring another rook to the party, because now this pawn is undefended. It might just not be super fun for him. I could put a knight in the middle. I can take a pawn. I think I want to just bring the rook to the middle, just to have this piece involved. Is he thinking about something like this? Not sure what that accomplishes. I'm going to grab this pawn. No, I'm not. Let's think about this. Because if I grab the pawn, his rook comes over here. Then I could slide over. I am going to grab this pawn. A little bit indecisive about that move. But I need to get this rook involved, and I need to get my knight doing something. But I'm one quick move to defend this. I'm also potentially threatening a queen trade again, where he could slide out this way. He's been making circles around this knight, defending it with the queen, which has been quite resilient of him. But I think at the end of the day, I'm going to get it. So he pins it. He also attacks this. I might scoot forward to defend this. Because this is pinned after all. So I'll take the queen if you go anywhere else. And unfortunately, okay, bring in my troops to defend my king, hiding in the corner. Then one more step, I bring the knight. What does my knight actually do from here? Not a whole heckin' lot, but it's doing a lot more there than it is from here. That's all I know. Okay, so he attacks my queen. I don't really think that I can let this go. I can check first. I can also check and sacrifice. You know what? I might just put every single one of my pieces over like this. Just straight up defending this file. Because this is weak. My knight comes and defends it, but a quick little push in and it's not defended anymore. Okay, we threaten this again. He's probably trying to do this. I can scoot back. That pins the knight to this. And if he plays this, I just take. Okay, so what if I go here and he takes, then I take, then his rook gets in. I think I'm just up enough material that it doesn't matter all that much. Please be correct about that. It's the problem is my king is so weak and his king is just super safe, really. There's not a lot of great ways that I can attack it. Okay. Queen scoots over there. I think I like the idea. bringing the knight. That prevents the infiltration. We might go for this. This is ridiculous. At least I've got 3 minutes. He hits me with the check. I at least can get out of it. Wait a minute. So this is defended, so I think I just have to do this check. King goes somewhere. I could just do this. Is there something better? I need to move my rook. Is going here? Ooh. How do I feel about that? I think I like it. If you don't take me, I'll take you. And then what do I take back with? I think I take back with the queen because that takes away a lot of his escaping squares. Okay. Yet again, this dude is super resilient. I'm going to just pin the knight again. I would love to win this pawn. Okay. Let's not rush into things. The knight is pinned. If I go here... Okay. If I go here... Okay, I got actually enough time to think about this. I think I can just scoot back and attack this piece because it's pinned. If you take, I take your queen. You get my rook. We're doing it. We're doing it. Oh, boy. What a stressful game. It's still not even over, but he resigned. Okay, that's fair enough because what else was he possibly going to do? I think that was a good game of just getting viciously attacked and defending it well enough to not lose. I think that's really what it was. And then at the end of the day, you know, I'm up a piece. So if I can force a trade of anything, I'm winning. And here, the moral of the story was pin the knight to a higher value piece. In this game, how many different pins were there? There were so many. But let's check this with the computer. I'm actually curious to see, you know, how did I perform? I'm not too confident about it, but we got the job done. So let's check it out. I'll see you over there. All right, and here we are in the analysis. And I checked it out real quick, and I'm happy to announce only, I think, one blunder by me. One blunder by me, 3 inaccuracies, and then our opponent here, 2 blunders, 3 inaccuracies, 1 mistake. So I did it a little bit better. That's why I won the game. If we look at the graph, it sees that I'm generally doing all right. That rook sacrifice didn't make really any sense, but it made for an interesting game. And then at one point, I threw away the entire advantage. So we're going to check that out. 82% accurate, 75% accurate. Let's get right into it. And so this is the Caro-Kann. Basically, I didn't know that was one of the best computer moves. You always see this knight move. You don't see the knight block the pieces in. But either way, when this happens, you just trade the pawn, they take it, and then you bring out their knight. If they take, you get this little structure. And I've played this structure so many times that it's not the best line, it's just the line that I play because I know it pretty well. And then it's a pretty simple game plan. You're going to bring your bishop out, you're going to bring your other bishop out and pin the knight, or not if the knight doesn't go there. You bring this knight over like this eventually, you castle this way, and you scoot the rook over 1 square. And then even in some situations after you castle, after you scoot the bishop out, you bring the bishop back to defend this square in front of the king so that crazy rook sacrifices can't happen. And so we see just that. Apparently I was just supposed to castle and then I'm good to go, but I decided to do this and kind of force a trade to happen real early. Castle, pin the knight. Should have just gotten out of there. Letting this pawn storm happen wasn't necessarily good for me. But then I take this time to put my rook on an open file. I take this time to get my knight involved. And then I trade off our pieces. And if you see, he's got a -1 because I guess he's got a lack in development plus his position isn't too secure. His king has yet to scoot over 1 square, which makes it, eligible to get checked and forced to scoot over. So just like I said, we hit him with that check, and that gives us the opportunity to grab this pawn. I was definitely worried about that because bringing the rook over is scary. It shows that actually just fully developing, get the rooks in the middle, that would have been the best move. But if you can grab a pawn, grab a pawn. We come back and kind of question his queen. Are we going to trade queens or not? I'm up a pawn now. He scoots back, and I ask him again, what are you going to do? He sacrifices, which was crazy. If you see, that was nowhere on this computer is it saying that that is a smart move, and he goes straight for it. Then I figured if I scoot back here, I'm going to have a rook that's defended by another rook and a king, and it's pretty safe. And then from here on out, I played pretty accurately. There was one part where I threw it away, so we're going to get to that. Put the rook on an open file. I could have taken this pawn, but it seemed scary. I kind of wanted this knight to have a future and then potentially bring the rook. So that's what I went for. It's not really good or bad. Now I take the pawn. I don't know, it's different now. I guess I'm one step closer to having my knight in the middle. So I thought, okay, it's okay to take the pawn. Then here we bring the rook up a few squares, one of the best moves. And then this is where I threw it away. And the reason is because I have to sacrifice my queen to then get it. And then I just have 2 rooks for a queen and knight for a rook and a couple extra pawns. And I'm losing, but not by that much. And the reason that I have to take, like if let's just say I do something else, this is one move checkmate. Look at this checkmate with a pawn and a knight with my king smushed in the corner of the board. So I'm not sure if that's technically a smothered mate. I think something would have to be here, but it's pretty close. Pretty rare that you even see that. So essentially, this rook move is a blunder if he sees that checkmate in one threat. And then he's winning, but he's not winning by too much because I can still sacrifice the queen and get a pawn, and then I can get the knight, and then I just have two rooks for the queen. So let's go through this a little bit quicker. We go here. Okay. This is an instructive moment. Some people would see this and say, I'm totally screwed, and just give up. My queen and my rook are hit. Nothing I can do, but you always have to look for checks because sometimes there's in-between checks that you can get, and then the king has to move, and then you move the other piece. So it looks like you're not going to be able to get out of it, but you totally can. And so I'm happy I saw it in 13 seconds. I figured one of these 2 moves had to be correct, and I liked this one because I have a follow-up. Bring the rook and kind of force a rook trade. So I force the rook trade. I come back with the queen because the queen cuts off more squares than the rook does, if that makes sense. If I bring the rook, then these squares are not defended as well. I know the queen is also defending these squares, but I put the queen there. We then pin, and then it's pretty much just game over. What's funny about this is he can still go here, and I would have to scoot the rook somewhere probably is what I would have actually done. Scoot the rook somewhere because now it's not checkmate. I get out. So if he would have really quickly, that's crazy. He resigned in this position. I came back here. If he would have thought about it for a little bit longer, he had 6 minutes, and it looks completely over. But if he went here, there's a chance that I take the queen and he gets checkmate in 1. Just saying, there's a chance. So he shouldn't have resigned, and he did. So there we go. Nothing you can do. All right, and none of that stuff actually happened in the game. It was resigned in this position right here. So I think the rook sacrifice was just completely unnecessary. I don't know why he even went for that, but it made for an interesting game, like I said. And I think one of the key things in this was how many times pieces got pinned. That's just such a common thing in this game. We've got 1 pin. It's always this knight. This knight got pinned so many times. We go through. This isn't a pin. This is like an interception situation. But let's see. I kept pinning this knight. The knight is pinned right now. pin the knight again, generally, was the idea. We get out of it. And then we pin the knight again. I felt like this knight was just a liability the entire game for this guy. The only time it was a good piece when it threatened to this checkmate and won that neither of us saw. But other than that, it just kept getting pinned. It didn't really do anything monumental, and it just was hard to keep track of for our opponent. And so what can we learn from this? Pin lower value pieces to higher value pieces. If they offer a sacrifice, generally take it if you see an out. And then don't resign. Don't just give up, because right here, if he played this, it's like, there's like a 5 or 10% chance that I don't see this checkmate in one, because neither of us saw it earlier and I was low on time. So either way, thank you so much for watching. It was a pleasure playing, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.